Hello there and welcome to the Hashpower Academy. My name is Jake Scanlon. I'm the lead educator here at the Academy, and here we seek to understand, develop, explore all different sorts of educational materials from a fundamentals first perspective on Bitcoin from the energy side all the way to finance last. And the topic of today's video is how to accumulate one whole Bitcoin. But first, I have a question for you. Why? Why do you want to accumulate 1 in 21 million units that are continually getting more scarce as they are lost over time, which is probably down to 17, 16, 15 million Bitcoin that is available to own, and the ever increasing amount of people that may seek to acquire it? So your objective goal to get to one whole Bitcoin is climbing a mountain that is continually getting steeper over time. But the concept of why do you want one whole Bitcoin, I ask because I'll give you the Fiat analogy. If you had won the lottery and you're standing there with the keys of your dream home and the keys of your dream car, the most beautiful wife, family, kids, and all the other things of abundance that you seek, what are you going to do with your time that day? Because the truest currency is your time, a balance that you do not know the total amount. And the approach there and the question, the perspective truly is, well, what is the money for? Do you want something to preserve and protect your purchasing power that you want to hand down to your kids, your family, and allow them to enjoy the fruits of your labor? Historically, wealth doesn't last too many generations along because people spend it if they don't understand the value, time, cost, and energy associated to acquiring that money. Bitcoin, interestingly enough, is produced from electricity. But let's delve into the topic of today, and I hope you have that question answered. I have different dreams, goals, and aspirations to use my Bitcoin that I accumulate in ways of building about abundance in this world, connecting and scaling a citadel, shall we say, and the opportunity to create new things. And that approach of why fight the old world when we can just build a new one? And so the acquisition of one whole Bitcoin is going to be a goal for many people in the Bitcoin space. And the first hurdle that a lot of people fail is unit bias. There's a lot of people that have heard about Bitcoin. They may have bought some, sold some, lost some, and they are disgruntled and angered by the fact that they no longer have it and watched it take off. They watched the spaceship go without them. And that may be sad, demoralizing, frustrating, and that resentment is only going to hurt them. So if you are one of these people that needs a fresh perspective to accumulate Bitcoin from today, from tomorrow, I hope this is an open invitation for you to at least start that journey. And that is to say that it is an absolutely scarce unit of database money, and that database is updated by energy from Bitcoin mining. So you've got all these other layers that truly need to be understood in your ability to acquire Bitcoin. But let's go to the first phase, and I hope you're past the first hurdle, that you don't need to buy one whole Bitcoin all in one go, but instead gradually accumulate over time. You're preserving your time and energy as it gains more value, because the value of Bitcoin and the price are two different things, but they correlate and trend together over time. So when you looked at Bitcoin that it was $30, 3,000 or 300,000 in the future, its underlying value is always going to be having some form of relative proportionality to any different moment in time. It is the time chain, just to remember. Store of value. The name of the game is arbitrage, fiat arbitrage. And that is to say that you currently have the ability to earn money backed by nothing and convert it into money backed by something. That is replacing a monetary system based on trust and replacing it for a monetary system based on truth. The blockchain is a source of truth, a database of information that is impenetrable by only one thing. Well, the only thing that penetrates the database and updates it is compute power. The very thing that can attack the network is paid in Bitcoin to defend it. And so your ability to preserve your value in that system right now is based on fiat arbitrage. Go out into the world, create things, generate income, add value. and convert that value, your income minus expenses, and the percentage of your savings, what percentage you believe in Bitcoin, that should be the amount that you try and save in Bitcoin in incremental purchases. Because if you purchase Bitcoin in incremental payments, you remove the volatility because you just gain an average price, which over time will go up in time. And volatility is another piece of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that people use to justify not going into Bitcoin. But the majority of the financial sector have their cup full perceptions and ideas behind what Bitcoin is from a completely debt-based fiat lens, when it's something completely new and it's required to empty the cup and open a fresh perspective. But fiat arbitrage in the store of value phase is the name of the game, while everyone's conceptualizing why it's going up, what's it for, is it a bubble, and all these other weird and wonderful things. It's engineered money designed to pierce the bubble of debt-based money. Oh, medium of exchange, the next phase, productivity. So you've accumulated some Bitcoin, whether you've got to one whole one or you've got past one whole Bitcoin and you want even more. The name of the game here now is if you have some form of business or offer some market, service, or anything in between, you're going to have something to do with energy and money. And the thing that's stuck between the middle of energy and money is compute power. So if you have a business that needs heat, or you are in the world of carbon accounting and all these other sorts of directions, but namely energy, compute, and finance, they intersect as a trifecta. And productivity is that ability to margin the gap between your income and your expenses from a business perspective. That is to say that there are other ways to acquire Bitcoin, and mining is the only alternative to buying. Now, if there is a lot of people with a lot of dollars that have purchased all the Bitcoin and they are holding for dear life and never going to sell their Bitcoin, where are you going to get it from? In a world where the price of Bitcoin is multi-million dollars, where are you going to get your Bitcoin from? So the strategy changes to being productive, because if you consume in society, like watching this, buying things, you are sending out money, receiving goods and services. If you want Bitcoin in a medium of exchange world of Bitcoin as the adoption curve, you need to be productive as a person, as a business, that you want to be paid in Bitcoin. You're exporting value, being productive, or selling something, producing something. And when you produce things, you receive money, because money moves in the opposite direction of goods and services. So medium of exchange phase is when Bitcoin is connected to the energy sector and the compute aspect of things and the financial sector. All of these different branches of Bitcoin require you to create and add value in society. And I do believe this will be the golden years of Bitcoin's acceleration, because these three represent adoption curves, these huge bell curves that cumulatively create an S-curve. And this will be the most steep part of the S-curve, shooting up of value and interconnectivity, the medium of exchange being compute in the middle of energy and finance. The third phase, which is much more further out, but still, your ability to acquire Bitcoin, as I said, is a mountain that's continually getting steeper, but a worthy goal if you seek to preserve that money over time, add value, exchange it back into things such as reinvesting into the Bitcoin network, and all other different aspects of the entire sector, where it's going, how it's growing, new sort of citizens of the world, shall we say, because Bitcoin is going to change people in the way that fiat money changed people. That people spent today and couldn't save for tomorrow because the money bought you less over time. And if you go back in history, the golden ages, the most impressive constructions, developments, designs, and music, classical music even, was all built on a hard money gold standard. So when we have Bitcoin as a unit of account, which right now the inflation rate of Bitcoin mining is now lower than that of gold. And so when we bring about a world of the information age, of a digital hard money that's more scarce than gold, what's the world going to look like then? And what is the accumulation strategy in a world where everything is based on a money that's backed by energy? The name of the game is connectivity. Connectivity is your ability to express all those different offerings of how you can trade, transact, contracts, employment, all these sorts of things on a Bitcoin unit of account. And connectivity is not just the trade of goods and services in Bitcoin, but the access that a plant will grow itself from the seed and then send out shoots and connect. And these sorts of pieces is why I see lots of people having different analogies to Bitcoin. And one of them being, it's like a digital mycelium network. And connectivity, network effect, truly takes place here when the dollarized world has no underlying commodity that it's connected to. We used to have a form of money, paper, that was redeeming gold, that you put gold in a vault and you issued pieces of paper that allowed you to go and collect that gold. And when the gold money standard was disconnected and now everything's based on debt money, the only thing that sustains the value of money now is the delusion that it has value because it exchanges for other things. So unit of account economics, that's the bit that kills the dollar. What kills the dollar is when contracts are priced in Bitcoin, because it removes the understanding of that long-term perpetuity of US treasuries and all these sorts of pieces, that the ability for governments to access finance based on IOUs and debt money, it disappears. If the pricing, if the value of fiat money is based on trust is the underlying, and pricing of contracts and salaries and all these sorts of pieces are what sustain the delusion of fiat money having value. Well, if the connectivity of the Bitcoin network reaches the point where trade and contracts are priced in a quantity of Bitcoin, game over. But from your Bitcoin accumulation strategy of one whole Bitcoin, you're going to have to offer anything and everything related to Bitcoin, be productive, and arbitrage any of these other commodities into Bitcoin, which reprices those commodities against Bitcoin, where Bitcoin's more valuable in essence versus all the different commodities of the Bitcoin network and all the associated productivity that everyone's creating. And we are going to see a golden age that most of us will not ever be able to witness. We will be too old to witness the unit of account phase that truly transcends into civilizations going to the moon, to Mars, and maybe out of the solar system, because we now have a monetary system that coordinates society towards innovating energy and compute with a financial unit on top that accelerates that whole process. I hope this was an interesting, insightful video. I'm a bit tired, so bear with me, but this is a real interesting way of observing things. But yeah, I've got some questions for you. Why do you want one whole Bitcoin, and what are you going to do with it? Those are the two deep, sit somewhere by yourself without a phone, no distractions, and really think as to why. The why, the truth seeking is one of the most culturally resonant things in the Bitcoin space, that we all want to seek more for ourselves, more for our loved ones, and the people around us. And we're all going to find our tribes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, share to the group chats, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.